Hi, my name is Gerrid Smith, and in today's How to Win series, we're going to be looking at the orthopedic knee surgeon market in Tampa, Florida. Let's dive in. So I have Knee Doctor Tampa pulled up, and this was the keyword that Google actually suggested I use, so that's why I'm using it. We can see we've got a couple sites here from local physicians, and then we have really some pretty big websites like Yelp, Medifine, Tampa General Hospital. Obviously, these are very high authority websites, but I find more often than not, Google would prefer to rank those lower on the page than a local website. And there's a number of reasons why. But a big one is, oftentimes, even though the domain rating or the domain authority is high for these sites, frequently they actually don't build too many links into the specific pages that are ranking in a local market. And so it does give an opportunity for local guys like, in this case, Dr. Craythorne, to rank well, to rank better, simply because his website is 100% focused on the Tampa Bay market. In other words, Google believes he is a topical authority. Whereas, if we take a look at Yelp, Yelp is not a topical authority for knee surgeons in Tampa. They have probably just this one page targeting knee surgeons because they have a very strong domain authority or domain rating. They're able to rank well, but otherwise they're very beatable. And as we look deeper into Dr. Barry's website, we're going to see that his website is beatable as well. Okay, let's dive in. So first, actually, let's take a look at his website, because I notice with his particular title tag, which is what this is. Well, let me clarify. Most often, what you see in the search results is the title tag, but that's not always the case. Sometimes Google rewrites the title tag and you see other stuff here. And sometimes in this case, they could take away the keywords from the title tag. But as I analyzed his title tag, I noticed he actually did not have his keywords in there. You can see it just says home, medical, Dr. Barry Craythorne. And in order to, maximize your rankings and make sure other people can't compete with you, you would want to make sure you have orthopedic surgeon and probably Tampa in there as well. I actually like for the homepage to make sure we have the official business name in the title tag. And if we can add other keywords, awesome. But as a general rule of thumb, the homepage should definitely have the full business name in there. And as we take a look at his map listing in just a second, we're going to see he doesn't have that. So I really like kind of this initial hero area, because reclaim your active lifestyle. If I was, 65, 70, I'm sure that's kind of where his target market is at. That would be exactly what I'm thinking. I'm a very active guy. I enjoy playing tennis. I enjoy running around and being active, and getting back into the game, reclaiming an active lifestyle is exactly what would be going through my mind. So I really like this kind of hero area. But then I would want to make sure, we've got your main keyword here in the headline that's kind of right below the hero area. We can see that it's an H2, which is a really important header tag for Google. They basically rank the header tags H1 first, H2, H3, and so on. More than likely, he doesn't have an H1. I didn't dig into all of his header tags on this page, but I'm guessing this is the main header in the headline. And you would want to make sure that this has, Tampa Bay or Tampa orthopedic surgeon, and then you can mention the doctor's name. So clearly he's done some work, probably with the Buccaneers, which is awesome. But again, I don't want to say the more, but you definitely want to include your keywords at least a couple times, on your homepage or whatever page you're trying to rank. And my guess is if we dug into his specialty pages, which ironically he does not have. Oh, yeah, it just kind of refreshes the homepage. I was going to say, whoops. If you look in the lower left corner, let me move myself up a little bit. You can see these pages don't go anywhere. So rotator cuff, you can see there in the lower left corner right here that it just links right back to the homepage. So my guess is that's probably an error. But anyway, he's got a lot of authority, you can see, and trust, and it's really important to show off those types of badges. But you really want to make sure, in order to maximize, all available business, you're linking to all of the subpages. And my guess is these are real pages, and they are. Okay, cool. But knee, he doesn't have a main knee page, which he should. He should have a main knee page, hip, elbows, ankles, shoulders, thigh. It would really help his overall topical authority to have those pages. Now, obviously, he's ranking well. He's not hurt by this. But if, somebody came in with a lot of SEO experience, they probably would not have an issue beating him out because he hasn't captured all of the pages that are really necessary to build that topical authority. All right, let's dive into some other areas of our analysis. One of my favorite tools, the SERP Analyzer from Surfer, it kind of gives you an overview of how many words you need and some of the different things you need in order to compete in a market. So we can see only 800 or so words for the top 10 results. That's on average. That's not a lot. That's not all that complicated. You can see that nobody has a great content score. This is a score on a scale from 1 to 100. Very few have great domain scores. You can see the ones that do rank, that do have high domain scores. These are major websites. This is a big medical clinic. This is, the largest hospital in the area. This is Yelp. Medifine doesn't have a whole lot going on there at all. Health Grades is obviously strong, but what this really tells me is that there isn't a lot of knee surgeons. That was the search I did, knee doctor. There aren't a lot of knee doctors that really have built out decent websites. You can see his content score is only a 64. It's nothing crazy. His domain score is only a 1. And I'll say 99% of the time in local markets, that's what you're going to see. So I'm not really surprised. I think the max we would see for most of the average, local businesses is maybe a 2. So this isn't the end of the world, but what I would really like to see is I'd really like to see this in the 70, 75, 80 range to really make sure we are capturing as much of the market as we can, and we're, defending our position in the number 1 spot. So I'm just going to scroll down and just see if there's anything else that really stands out to me. Oh, I did want to point out, most of these directories tend to have really low scores. I'm actually really happy with Yelp. They've got a score of 46, which is a little bit challenging because, a lot of the content on these directories is dynamic. It's based on basically what people add to the pages. So it's hard to have super high scores, as you can see with Medifine, Health Grades. They have very low scores on the content side, but very high on the domain score because they have tons and tons of links coming into the site as a whole. But as we're going to see, most of these directories don't have a lot of links coming into the specific pages that are ranking here, unlike Dr. Barry, who does have a lot of links because, it's a small little site. All the links are probably going into the homepage. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the batch analysis. This is how I analyze the competitors from a link or domain authority perspective. We talked a little bit about that on the SERP Analyzer there, and I just want to kind of show you how that looks with a report like this. So we can see here, you can just kind of ignore all this stuff, but what I really want to take a look at is the Ahrefs rating. That's a score, again, 1 to 100. It's a different score from the last one we looked at, but it's pretty similar. And then the referring domains. So I want to kind of take a look at each of those. So this is the referring domains for the pages that actually rank in Google, which you can see here. This is where I was like, look at Yelp, look at Tampa General Hospital, 1 link, nothing for Yelp. Medifind, only 2. So not a ton of links. Again, they're only ranking because the site as a whole has a very high domain authority, but the individual pages are really lacking. All right, Tampa Bay Orthopedics. This is kind of the guy that we're really taking a close look at. He only has 34 referring domains coming into this homepage. That's not a lot for a local site like this. There are hundreds of local directories that he could be getting links from and would, again, further defend that number 1 position. So I would really like to see a site like this get a couple more because, again, it wouldn't take much for somebody to come in and just jump into that top spot. I'm just going to see, I don't think there's really anything else that is all that important from this, but I really wanted to highlight, anytime you see a lot of directories ranking in your local market, just know that they are very beatable. directories tend to rank well when there aren't a lot of great local options. And that's really what we're seeing here. There aren't a lot of great local options. You got one guy that's kind of, putting together a good site. I really don't remember what this guy was. He's probably another local surgeon though. And my guess is he's not ranking higher because he's got a lot of referring domains, which is awesome, but his score may have been low. Let me just pull him up real quick. I'm curious. Here he is down here. Yeah, 34. So if this guy just brought his score up to 75, 80-ish, somewhere in there, put his main keyword in here, he'd probably rank really, really well, honestly, within 72 hours. If you go make a bunch of changes to your website, you can go to Google Search Console, get your site verified in there, and then request a recrawl. Try saying that 27 times. But you can have basically Google come back to your site, recrawl it, and then they're going to index it relatively quickly. Again, probably within 72 hours, you're going to see a bump from those changes. That's generally what we see. All right, let's go ahead and put me back down here in my corner. We're going to head over to the Page Speed Insights. And this is a site I like to check from and really see what's going on from a site speed standpoint. Speed is really important online for two core reasons. One is the SEO side of things, but it's also really important for usability and conversions. A lot of people are like, oh, let's just do whatever it takes for us to improve our rankings, but they're not necessarily taking the user experience into consideration. And Google views the user experience as being part of, kind of an SEO factor. There's a lot of different usability type metrics that they're looking at, bounce rate, time on site, things like that indicate whether that user is having a good experience. And the higher you can get with some of those scores, ultimately more trust is going to be built for your website from Google's standpoint. We can see here on mobile and on desktop, just not a great experience overall. Unfortunately, at 3 seconds, that's not the end of the world on mobile, but I'd really like to see that more in the 2-second range. He's got a couple options to improve his page speed scores. One is to have a developer come in, make all these changes. The other is to use a tool called NitroPack. You can find them at nitropack.io. And by simply installing that tool on the website, I think it's $60-$70. It's not that much per month. It is a monthly service, but it'll drastically improve these scores, which again is going to provide a better user experience. It's going to get more conversions, more leads, more business. And as a result of that, his SEO will actually improve as well because people are having a better experience on the website. Next thing I'd like to take a look at is his Google business profile, which is a little bit long. This is kind of a strategic decision for the brand to make it this long. You just have to make sure if you do create a GBP, it's changed so many times over the years. But if you do make it that long, you really need to ensure that all of your local directory listings are equally, has the exact same information, because NAP stands for name, address, and phone, and it needs to be the same across every citation you create. A citation is a local directory listing. So things like Yelp, Superpages, Yellow Pages, White Pages, all the different page websites need to make sure they're matching up. Your Facebook profile is also a really, really important one. So you just want to make sure that matches up. He's got orthopedic surgeon in here as his category. That's great. I don't see too many interesting photos here. We've only got 6, probably most of which are ones that Google has dropped in here themselves. Oh, maybe the business owner did that a little bit as well. But I'd really like to see a lot more images for a local business, 25, 50, ideally for a market like this. That shouldn't be a problem. A lot of the other stuff here looks pretty standard, looks pretty good. So that would be kind of a good start. The other thing I want to point out, and I don't normally mention this, but I want to for this particular market. Let me go back actually to Google. And I want to point out, because I was talking about Facebook and Yelp, one of the things that business owners can do to kind of further dominate their market is they can make sure let me go back here real quick. So Tampa Bay Orthopedic. So that's, kind of have your keyword in there. And if they built out Yelp pages, Facebook pages, and after doing that, built links into those pages, and I build about 20 to 30 links into each one of his I would call them core citations, Yelp, Facebook, even directory listings on MediFind and some of these other sites. If you have a listing on there, go ahead and build some links into those pages, because frequently, again, we saw most of these directories don't have many links coming into it. So if I were to build 20, 30 links into my Yelp listing, and my Yelp listing has my core keywords in there, like Tampa Bay Orthopedics, that Yelp listing can rank really, really well in his market. And in fact, I've seen examples where, the client site was number one, and then they had, these directory listings ranking number 2, number 3. Just depends on the competitiveness and how many different directories you build links into, but it's certainly a feasible thing. The great thing about that is if I am a local consumer and I come and do the search for Knee Doctor Tampa, I see Dr. Barry, cool, nice site. And then I see Dr. Barry in the second, Dr. Barry in the third, Dr. Barry in the fourth. I'm probably not even going to look at another website. I'm just going to be like, cool, Dr. Barry's my guy. I'm going to choose him. But because he doesn't own multiple spots, he's allowing competition to come in and for me to, take a look at IRA and take a look at some of these other, sites that rank. So just a kind of a thought there. Went through this. This looks pretty good. Sometimes I like to go through the citation tracker on Bright Local and just see kind of what they've got going on. This is a great auditing tool if you want to see if you have all of the core citations that are important. Again, citations are frequently local directory listings, and we can see here that he doesn't have a lot of them. Again, what this tells me in this local market is that somebody can come in and rank extremely well. There's a lot of opportunity. And knee surgeon or knee doctor Tampa is a popular term. I mean, you can imagine how many people every month are looking to get knee surgery in Tampa or have a knee issue of some sort. And so, this is a market that is ripe for winning. So, if you found this particular audit helpful, I would really, really appreciate it if you liked and even subscribed to my channel. It really helps it out. It helps more people find useful information like this too. So thanks again. Appreciate it.